See, kids absorb faith by watching their parents. So if you've ever worried, I don't know if I'm doing enough, good news. You don't have to be a Bible scholar. You don't have to have all the answers. All your kids need is to see that your faith is real. So, what does this look like then? Well, I want to get really practical, and I want to give you 3 ways that you're going to be able to make faith stick for your kids without feeling like it's forced or like it's fake. Number 1, talk about God in everyday life. Most parents, I think they think that they need a big, structured Bible study every night to teach their kids about God. But here's the truth, faith is caught more than it's taught. And so what really matters is those little moments. It's the car rides, the dinner table chats, it's the bedtime prayers. Those are the elements that really shape how kids see God. So, example, you're driving home and you see a beautiful sunset. Instead of just admiring it, say, wow, look at that. God is such an amazing artist. And so suddenly, your child's perspective shifts, seeing that God is present in creation. Or maybe something tough happens. Your kid loses a soccer game, fails a test, just has a rough day with a friend. It's a perfect moment to say, hey, let's talk to God about this. Did you know He cares about how we feel? And this teaches them that prayer isn't just like something they do at church or even just at dinner, but it's for everyday life. And then here's one of my favorites. It's asking your kids, where did you see God today? And you're going to be surprised by their answers. Maybe they saw kindness at school. Maybe they noticed how God answered a little prayer. And, it might just be a crazy response, but that's good too, because the goal is simply to get them talking about God. And what it does is it just trains them to look for God in everyday moments. Because faith shouldn't be seen as like this separate subject. It's just simply a part of life. Number 2, let them see you worship and pray. Imagine this. You tell your kids to brush their teeth every night, but they never see you do it. Well, eventually they're going to wonder, does it even matter? And the same thing is true with faith. Kids need to see you worship, you pray, and you engage with God, not just hear you tell them about it. So think about this. When was the last time your kids saw you reading your Bible? Have they caught you singing a worship song while you're cooking? Do they see you pray when you're stressed out? And again, it doesn't have to be complicated or like a Bible scholar or a pastor. It could just be simply a prayer of, God, help me with this when you're struggling. And what that does, it shows them that your faith is real. A number of years ago, I was driving with my daughter and we were heading to school, and she said this. She said, Daddy, how come every time we get in your car, you're playing worship music? Now, you don't always get to choose the moments, but you do choose to get ready. And I told her, Daddy is always playing worship music because sometimes my life gets hard too. Sometimes I get confused or worried, but when I sing these songs, I'm declaring God's promises over my life. That's a moment in time where I get to share with my daughter, this is how it's real for me. And that's the goal. Again, kids don't need perfect parents. They need to see that faith is actually really lived out. Number 3, be honest about your own faith journey. Be real about faith. And this one's huge because kids can smell fake a mile away. So if we act like we have all the answers, we never have doubts, we never struggle, they're just going to assume faith isn't for real life. So when you don't know something, just say it. When they ask you a question about God or heaven or whatever, just say, hey, that's a great question. I don't actually know, but why don't we try to find out together? When you're struggling, let them see how you bring it to God. Man, I've been really stressed, and so I've been trying to just ask God for peace today. And that's it. That's discipleship. It's not about being a perfect Christian. It's about just being a real one. So if you ever feel like you're not doing enough to build your child's faith, just take a deep breath. You already have everything you need. Talk about God in everyday life. Let them see you worship and pray, and then just be real about your own faith journey. Because that's what makes faith sticky. That's what makes faith real. Look, I know parenting is tough and it can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. And the best way to help your kids love Jesus is show them that you love Jesus. Hey, if this was helpful, hit like and subscribe for more videos on helping your kids grow in their faith.